Environment and climate policy. In September 2019, Scholz negotiated the climate package in a key role for the SPD. To this, he said, "What we have presented is a great achievement," whereas climate scientists almost unanimously criticized the result as insufficient. In August 2020, Scholz held a phone call with U.S. Secretary of the Treasury Steven Mnuchin, discussing a lift of U.S. sanctions on the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, one of 23 gas pipelines between Europe and Russia. In exchange, Scholz offered €1 billion in subsidies to liquid gas terminals in northern Germany for U.S. liquid gas imports. The move sparked controversy with regards to the SPD's stance towards renewable energy. The revised Climate Protection Act introduced by Olaf Scholz's cabinet as mayor of Hamburg provides for a 65% reduction in CO2 emissions by 2030, an 88% reduction by 2040, and climate neutrality by 2045. Scholz has advocated for the expansion of renewable energy capacities to replace fossil fuels. In May 2021, Scholz proposed the establishment of an international climate club, which should serve to develop common minimum standards for climate policy measures and a coordinated approach. In addition, uniform rules for the carbon accounting of goods should apply among members. As part of the coalition agreement that led to Scholz becoming Chancellor, the Social Democrats, Free Democrats, and Green Party agreed to accelerate Germany's phase-out of coal to the year 2030, in line with the target set by the Powering Past Coal Alliance. The country's previous target had been to end the use of coal by 2038. In addition, the agreement set a phase-out of power generation from natural gas by 2040. The agreement also included provisions for the prohibition on natural gas heating in new buildings and replacement of natural gas systems in existing buildings. An end to the sale of combustion vehicles would come in 2035, in line with the target set by the European Commission. Relationship with the United States. In December 2019, Scholz criticized U.S. sanctions on Russia's Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline to Germany, saying, "Such sanctions are a serious interference in the internal affairs of Germany and Europe and their sovereignty." Scholz has expressed support for a long-standing agreement that allows American tactical nuclear weapons to be stored and maintained on American bases within Germany. Domestic policy. On 6 November 2024, Scholz removed Finance Minister Christian Lindner from his position, citing loss of trust. Lindner's removal led to the collapse of the governing coalition. The government crisis was complicated by the fact that the German economy entered its second consecutive year of recession. 160. Germany also faced a severe housing crisis in 2024, leading Scholz to describe housing as Germany's most pressing social issue. In October 2024, Scholz warned of the deindustrialization of Germany. In December 2024, Scholz criticized Volkswagen's plan to close factories in Germany. He proposed a European subsidy program for electric vehicles. He also pledged support for the German steel industry, which was facing high energy costs. In September 2024, pollster Infratest DIMAP found that Scholz's approval rating was 18%, one of the lowest ever recorded by a German chancellor. On 16 December 2024, Scholz lost a vote of confidence in the Bundestag, paving the way for elections to be held on 23 February 2025. COVID-19 vaccine mandate. During his campaign in the 2021 election, Scholz opposed a COVID-19 vaccine mandate. Since late November 2021, he has expressed support for mandatory vaccination for adults, scheduled to be voted during the first months of 2022 by the federal parliament, and for the closure of non-essential retail stores to unvaccinated adults, based on the 2G rule, decreed by state governments in December 2021. On the 13th of January 2022, Scholz told lawmakers in the Bundestag that Germany should make COVID-19 vaccinations mandatory for all adults. Later that month, he warned that the coronavirus would not miraculously disappear and said Germany would not be able to get out of the pandemic without compulsory vaccinations. The opposition Christian Democratic Union criticized the government for not taking a firm decision on a vaccine mandate. The far-right Alternative for Germany party wanted Scholz's government to ban vaccine mandates. Political views. Within the SPD, Scholz is widely viewed as forming part of the moderate wing of the party. Because of his flat enunciation and mechanical-sounding choice of words in press conferences and interviews, Scholz has been nicknamed the Scholzomat by some media outlets. In 2013, he said that he found the nickname very appropriate. In January 2019, Scholz stated that he sees China primarily as an economic partner. He tried to persuade Chinese Vice Premier Liu He that China should be more open to German firms, and he supported the comprehensive agreement on investment between the EU. Olaf Scholz, German-born 14 June 1958, is a German politician who has been Chancellor of Germany since 2021. A member of the Social Democratic Party, SPD, he previously served as Vice-Chancellor in the Fourth Merkel Cabinet and as Federal Minister of Finance from 2018 to 2021. He was also First Mayor of Hamburg from 2011 to 2018, Deputy Leader of the SPD from 2009 to 2019, and Federal Minister of Labor and Social Affairs from 2007 to 2009. Scholz began his career as a lawyer specializing in labor and employment law. He became a member of the SPD in the 1970s and was a member of the Bundestag from 1998 to 2011. Scholz served in the Hamburg Government under First Mayor Ortwin Runde in 2001 and became General Secretary of the SPD in 2002, where he served alongside SPD leader and then Chancellor Gerhard Schröder. He became his party's chief whip in the Bundestag, later entering the First Merkel Government in 2007 as Federal Minister for Labor and Social Affairs. After the SPD moved into the opposition following the 2009 election, Scholz returned to lead the SPD in Hamburg. He was then elected deputy leader of the SPD. He led his party to victory in the 2011 Hamburg state election and became first mayor, a position he held until 2017-2018. After the Social Democratic Party entered the Fourth Merkel Government in 2018, Scholz was appointed as both Minister of Finance and Vice-Chancellor of Germany. In 2020, he was nominated as the SPD's candidate for Chancellor of Germany for the 2021 federal election. The party won a plurality of seats in the Bundestag and formed a traffic light coalition with Alliance 90/the Greens and the Free Democratic Party. On the 8th of December 2021, Scholz was elected and sworn in as Chancellor by the Bundestag, succeeding Angela Merkel. As Chancellor, Scholz has overseen Germany's response to the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine. Despite giving a restrained and timid response compared to many other Western leaders, Scholz oversaw a significant increase in the German defense budget, weapons shipments to Ukraine, and the Nord Stream 2 pipeline was put on hold. 3 days after the invasion, Scholz set out the principles of a new German defense policy in his Zeitenwende speech. In September 2022, 3 of the 4 Nord Stream pipelines were destroyed. During the Israel-Hamas war, he authorized substantial German military and medical aid to Israel and denounced the actions of Hamas and other Palestinian militant groups. In November 2023, the Federal Constitutional Court demanded budget cuts totaling €60 billion to ensure the government would not surpass debt limits as set in the Constitution. This proved a significant challenge for Scholz's cabinet and contributed to the 2023 to 2024 protests. 2. On 6 November 2024, his government majority collapsed as he dismissed Christian Lindner from the post of Federal Minister of Finance and broke up the coalition agreement. On the 16th of December 2024, Scholz lost a vote of no confidence. On the same day, he requested the President of Germany to dissolve the Bundestag. The President, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, did so and called out new elections for 23 February 2025. Olaf Scholz was born on 14 June 1958 in Osnabrück, Lower Saxony, and grew up in Hamburg's Rahlstedt district. His parents worked in the textile industry. He has 2 younger brothers, Jens Scholz, an anesthesiologist and CEO of the University Medical Center Schleswig-Holstein, and Ingo Scholz, a tech entrepreneur. Olaf Scholz attended the Bekassenau Elementary School in Oldenfelde and then switched to the Großlowering Elementary School in Großlohe. After